Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kishwar's Picks Week 4 edition. Last week was pretty tough. Week 2, I believe I went 8 and 8, and then last week I went 7 and 9. Clearly, I haven't been doing well with my predictions, and again, it shows you that it is any given Sunday in the NFL. Um, quick recap of the week. The Jets looked horrible last week. Of course, it's an aberration. It's just one game. Fitzpatrick didn't have it in him. Six interception is a bit much, but it happens. Arrowhead is a tough place to play, and Kansas City with that crowd could be a very difficult team to beat. And we didn't help ourselves certainly, and clearly, that's the result. We certainly didn't get blown out, which is our defense did fine. They only gave up 10 points, but our offense just was. I don't think they got off the flight. Thankfully, they won't have to uh, look back and just move forward. Prepare for the Seahawks this week. With that being said, let's jump into week 4 picks. And the first game will be the Miami Dolphins at Cincinnati Bengals Thursday Night Football. I'm shocked Bengals couldn't take care of Trevor Siemian and the Broncos last week. Made him actually look like second coming of Peyton Manning. Dolphins struggle against the Browns, which is embarrassing. Somehow they pulled out the win in overtime. Traveling to Cincinnati won't be easy. Bengals over the Dolphins easy. Next game we have the 9:30 game on Sunday morning, which is going to be at Wembley Stadium in London. We have the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. All that hoopla surrounding Jacksonville before the season started. They're 0-3, so clearly the the stigma that surrounds the Jaguars is still with them, and they're just not going anywhere. And Luck finally had a good game last week. The guy has no team around him, and it's really unfortunate to see that. Uh, I don't know how long he can keep up because he hardly has any time to throw. But I'm gonna pick the Colts to beat the Jaguars and go to 2-2. Next game we have 1 o'clock games. Tennessee Titans traveling to Houston Texans. Brock Osweiler, getting paid $18 million a year, did not show up at Foxborough last week. Lost to a third-string quarterback, and that's embarrassing. On prime time, everyone is watching, and you just got paid tons of money, and that's how you show everyone. It's embarrassing. So Marcus Mariota is quietly having a decent season with the Titans. DeMarco Murray revived his career after a poor stint with Eagles last year. I'm gonna give the edge to Texans. Uh, Titans might be able to upset them, but I'll go with Texans. Next game we have the sorry Cleveland Browns at the Washington Redskins. The Redskins finally got a victory. I actually picked them to win last week. D'Angelo Hall is probably out for a season, which is not a good thing. Norman and Breland has to secure up that secondary position. Terrell Pryor looked pretty good for the Browns. Cody Kessler, Miami made him look really good, so I want to see more of him. But the Browns are just so bad. Redskins will beat the Browns easy. Next game, we have the Seattle Seahawks traveling East Coast to play the New York Jets. Very tough game, although we're not sure if Russell Wilson is going to play yet. Fitzpatrick needs to bounce back, and the Jets just acquired Austin Seferian-Jenkins from Tampa Bay waivers. Hopefully, it's another big target, another tight end. Hopefully, we'll use a tight end for once. Seahawks defense will be ready for us. The Jet defense hasn't been bad, but I expect better. I expect more from the Jet defense, and Jet offense needs to bounce back after that poor strength from last week. I'm going to give the edge to Jets only because they're home and Seattle is playing without Russell Wilson. Next game, we have the Buffalo Bills traveling to New England Patriots. Congrats to Rex Ryan for finally beating a good team and getting on the winning column. He's going to travel to Foxborough to play Bill Belichick and that unstoppable force that we call New England Patriots. With a third-string quarterback, they handed the Texans one of the most embarrassing losses in recent history, 27 nothing. I expect Jimmy Garoppolo to come back and just light it up. Bills will fall, and Patriots will be 4-0. And next week they have Tom Brady coming back to the team. At this point, I won't rule out 16-0 unless the Jets can take care of them once, hopefully. Next game we have is the Oakland Raiders at Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are quietly 3-0 this year, although they only beat Browns, Jaguars, and Bills, but it's 3-0. You can't overlook that. The Raiders 2-1, not so bad themselves. Should be a great game. Joe Flacco and Derek Carr, pretty good QB matchups here. But I'll give the Ravens the edge, especially because West Coast teams flying into East Coast and playing a 1 o'clock game doesn't really necessarily turn out well for them. So I'll take the Ravens on this one. Next game we have the Carolina Panthers and Atlanta Falcons. Panthers surprisingly are 1-2. No one expected that out of them. Cam Newton didn't have a great game last week, but I think he bounces back. Falcon defense. I think I saw a stat last night during the Monday night game that Falcons have the fewest sacks recorded since 2012, and that's a scary stat. They need to shore up that defense somehow. Matt Ryan looks like he's finally coming back to the way he used to play. Hopefully Julio Jones bounces back from a horrible game last night. But I still give the edge to Panthers. They'll sneak this one out at Atlanta. Next game we have the Detroit Lions at Chicago Bears. The Bears are just done. Brian Hoyer should keep the starting job, even if Jay Cutler comes back. The Lions, Matthew Stafford is actually throwing the ball up and down the field all 3 games they've played. You would think losing Megatron, Calvin Johnson, they would take a step back, but Stafford actually has been lighting it up. However, it didn't result to 2 wins or 3 wins. They're 1-2, lost to a close one against the Packers, but I think they'll beat the Bears. Lions over Bears. And then we move on to the 4 o'clock games. The first one is Denver Broncos at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Upset alert. I believe Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense can handle Broncos defense. Why? Simply because Jameis Winston, I'm not gonna say he's big Ben Roethlisberger size, but he's up there and he can move around. And if he can get Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson involved early in the game against Chris Harris and Aqib Talib, they have a legit shot of upsetting the world champions. Trevor Siemian is making me eat my words. He's been great. I don't think. I mean, last week he beat the Bengals pretty handily, but I don't think he can pull it off 2 weeks in a row. Upset Bucks over Broncos. Next game we have this. I was about to say St. Louis Rams, but the LA Rams at Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals had a horrible game last week against Buffalo. Then again, what I said earlier, West Coast team traveling to 1 o'clock games and play in the East Coast is always difficult. Rams coming off an impressive win over the Buccaneers, but I don't think that continues. They will fall at Arizona, and Carson Palmer will bounce back. Next game, we have the New Orleans Saints at San Diego Chargers. Philip Rivers is another quarterback that's actually having a pretty good season, despite losing Keenan Allen and Danny Woodhead. Drew Brees is lighting it up as usual, but he's 0-3, and it's really unfortunate to see that. It was nice to see Coby Fleener actually wake up in the offense and catch some balls last night. But I don't think Saints will beat the Chargers on the road, and they'll fall to 0-4. Chargers will beat the Saints. Fun fact, Drew Brees' former team, so it's a face-off. Next game is the Dallas Cowboys and San Francisco 49ers. I'm not sure if I can call this an upset, but I'm picking the 49ers to beat Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. The 49ers, sure, they haven't won many games, 1-2, but Cowboys aren't that good. They played the Bears last week. They overpowered the Bears. I don't think they're that good. Dak Prescott is all right. He's not earth-shattering to me. If 49ers defense should be able to take care of them, 49ers will beat the Cowboys. Next game, we have the Sunday Night Football game. We have the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Heinz Field to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers were embarrassed in Lincoln Financial Field last week. The Eagles tore them apart. Also, as a Jet fan, kind of feels good because next week we play the Pittsburgh Steelers, so now at least we know they're beatable. But I think the bounce back. Kansas City again beat us pretty bad, but I don't think they can pull the same thing against Steelers. Big Ben Roethlisberger gets Le'Veon Bell back, which is a big boost for that offense. Antonio Brown will continue doing his thing, although he goes up against Marcus Peters this week, which will be a great matchup to see. Roethlisberger's receivers need to catch the ball. Sammy Coates, Marcus Wheaton can't be dropping that many balls. So picking the Steelers over the Chiefs. Moving on to Monday night, we have the New York Giants traveling to Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 3-0 and arguably one of the best teams in the league. Definitely didn't see this coming after losing Teddy Bridgewater in the preseason and now AP being out. And Sam Bradford is actually guiding the ship just right. He's, I'm not going to say a perfect fit, but he's a pretty good fit for that offense. And Mike Zimmer's defense is in a stone cold, probably ranked top 3 in all categories right now. They should be able to handle Eli Manning and the Giants. Although the Giants blew that game last week, they had it going for them. Then Eli, being Eli, at the last second throws an interception and ends the game. The Giants, actually, I think they have one of the best receiving corps in the league, but the Viking defense will tame them. The Vikings will win this game. 2 teams are on bye this week: Green Bay Packers and Philadelphia Eagles. I personally think having a week 4 bye is pretty dumb. I think NFL should look into that going into next year. But that's it. With that being said, comment, like, subscribe. Let me know if you don't agree with any of these picks. Hopefully the Jets bounce back, and I'll see you next week. Hopefully that one goes 7 or 9 again.